Now, Durban man is safely back home following a 6-day journey to escape the war in Ukraine. 70-year-old Raymond Ramjee-ahvun was in Kyiv for business when he was awakened by sirens alerting the city of the Russian invasion. Newzroom Afrika's Karinda Jagmohan spoke to him.
For Raymond Ramjee-ahvun, Ukraine is almost a second home and part of his agriculture import business. On the 24th of February, as threats of war began, he was among thousands who attempted to flee the capital city, Kyiv.
It was no easy feeling, and at about 5 o'clock in the morning the siren went off again. So everyone had the basic necessities packed in a small bag. So if there's a siren, you leave with your bag.
Assuring his family of his safety, Ramjee-ahvun trekked, hitchhiked and sought refuge in a bunker with strangers. While he struck luck with the help of business partners, it was the nature of Ukrainians, he said, to offer their hospitality.
I found myself when I'm in Ukraine, whenever I needed any assistance, the people there are very helpful. Right, I asked someone that were also coming live to help me, because if someone stopped and they couldn't speak English, then I met someone that could speak English, and they assured me that they will get me on a taxi or on a transport and make sure that I go to the place where I go. And with that help, I got into an old Russian Lada. While we were driving south from Kyiv to the Odessa side, we've seen a lot of tanks rolling into Kyiv. Yeah. And we don't know whether it's Russian tanks coming in or Ukrainian tanks. So it was terrifying to see those tanks on that freeway.
After a grueling 14-hour drive to the Polish border on the west of Ukraine, his bus stopped several kilometers away from the entrance. The grandfather of two was left to plow through snow to the final leg of his escape.
That was really bad, because it's cold and a lot of people also walking. And then there's cars going to the border. The cars are at a standstill. I thought maybe I'll stop and see someone's car and ask them if they can give me a lift. But thank God nobody gave me a lift, because those cars are there already for 2 days trying to get through the border. Okay, at the border we congregated on the open. There's no toilet, no facilities. There's no, if your cell phone went dead, you are dead also, because there's no charger or anything to charge your phone. So I used to switch off my phone. I knew my journey will take so many hours. I would write to the family and say, please, I'm going to switch off for 2 or 3 hours, and I'll switch on again. I just want to save my battery. And at the border we arrived, so we have to stand at the border. And also there was Ukrainians, so they put the foreigners on one section. It's predominantly men's, because the women were allowed to go earlier. And also the Ukrainians were fleeing from the country, and they had 25-kilometer queue, and people also walking. So they gave priority to the women and children first. And from Ukraine, only the women and children were allowed to leave. Men over between 18 and 60 were not allowed to leave.
The border was chaotic, with people rushing to find buses that would take them across to Poland. Ramjee-ahvun was able to catch a third bus out in the early hours of the 28th of February.
At one time I was giving up at the border to go back, and I was fortunate that I didn't go back, because to try and get out each day was getting more difficult. And the situation today is even worse. Every part of Ukraine is getting bombed, even the west. So it's no place you are safe now.
He returned to the safety of his Durban home 2 days later and says he will revisit Ukraine, but now looks back in sorrow and is urging countries to open their doors to refugees.
I am devastated. I feel very, very, emotional. It still bothers me every day, and I wish this war could stop immediately. There is too much innocent human lives getting lost. Infrastructure that was built for years and years is just being destroyed. There's about 1.5 million went into Ukraine, from Ukraine into Poland itself. And they are stretched to the capacity now. And this war needs to stop now, because human lives. Yeah.
For Newzroom Afrika on Channel 405, I'm Karinda Jagmohan in Durban.